All right, so welcome back. Part 2, Brinkley Model G Plant 7 tour. We're gonna dive right into this because we already did a full video talking about the frames, talking about the structure, talking about lag bolts, talking about attachment, all of that stuff. This video is gonna focus on really the first line of production as they actually start turning this into an RV. One thing I wanna point out real quick, and you can probably see right here, is that they actually foam line the inside of the I-beam frame. So I'm gonna actually ask Nate about that and why they do that, because I've never seen another manufacturer do that. Even though maybe somebody else does do it, I'm just not aware of it, but that is definitely something that's unique for me. Anyways, if you didn't watch part 1, go back and watch that video, because that's gonna be this whole section right here, plus some other information about how they prep their plumbing, how they prep their electrical, all of that stuff. And then come back and watch this video, because this video is gonna really be a video that you watch after you've seen the first one and how they've kind of gotten everything going. Anyways, let's kick it off. Hang tight, I'll be right back. All right, Nate, so video 2, we went over a lot of this and we actually asked a lot of really critical questions regarding attachment, lag bolts, all of that stuff, frame structure. So thank you so much for kind of diving into that, because what you're doing is you're peeling the onion back, and there's so much that goes into manufacturing an RV people don't think about. So thank you for that. Video 2, we're now actually gonna kind of follow the RV as it goes down. We're probably in the loudest area at this point. But one thing that I kind of noticed here that's a little different, the top of this tank, or the side of this tank, looks a little different. Can you explain what's going on here?
Yeah, so again, everything's prepped for the line. So we do everything offline ahead of time, so it's correct. But one of the biggest changes here recently is we've gone to pressure activated tank sensors. One of our biggest annoyances was inaccurate sensors, and then also problematic sensors. So with the new Firefly system, we've updated that. This would be the same sensor you'd have on a $2 million Prevost bus.
Really?
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Yeah, they've had 3 legitimate warranty claims out of 12,000 sensors. So.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So this is the traditional way. Basically, a sensor goes off when a tank hits a certain level, and this is the new sensor system they have right now, which is a much, much higher end system. That is really cool. Plus all of the brass connections, which of course is now synonymous with Brinkley.
Oh my gosh, you haven't seen these. You'll love this. So we worked with a supplier to re-engineer this. So we were using Valterra in another company. The problem was the manual override was a pain in the butt. So now you pop this pin, flip this down, and you can just pull the valve open.
Is super cool,
Isn't
man.
that slick?
That is awesome.
So yeah, these are brand new.
That is really, really cool. And this is another example again of how you prep everything.
Yeah.
So all these plumbing connections are just a section of one RV, right?
Yes.
All right.
Yep. So if you see, they'll slide the gray tubs down onto the chassis, and then everything is there for them to plumb the unit. They don't have to come offline at all to get distracted. They're just in the zone. We keep them in station.
And they know the tub is specific to that unit, so they're not having to go to a big rack or a big box of bins and find parts. It's all
100%.
prep. That's awesome.
And it's all by print. So the prep team knows everything that they need to give to the online team.
And that is absolutely incredible. So from up here, something I can see, and I noticed it when I first kind of started the video, is the insulation that you have on the inside of the I-beams. I've never personally seen that before, so I don't know if other manufacturers do that or not, but this is the first time I've actually ever seen that. So can you explain what's going on and the purpose of that?
Yeah, so toy haulers, especially in the garage, are notorious for having heating and cooling issues. We worked with a company out of Houston, Texas. They do a lot of oil rig stuff in Canada, specifically Alberta, where they have to endure extreme temperatures. Well, they have a product that they use on this oil rig housing that we've implemented into our units, which we completely insulate all the I-beam. One of our big issues on keeping the garages cool was heat transfer through the I-beam. People, other manufacturers and us in the past, we only insulated the bottom. And then we would use batt insulation, which could hold moisture.
Yeah.
It just doesn't perform. So we spend probably $1,000 a unit that our competitors don't, to keep the heat and the heat in the winter and the heat out in the summer.
Yeah, especially with the enclosed heated underbelly, to be able to keep all of that at the right temperature to prevent freezing of lines up. That is absolutely incredible.
Yep.
Very cool. Okay, so they flipped the frame over here.
Yep.
This is where they're putting all the underbody panels in. I've noticed your underbelly panels are different than what I traditionally see too. They have kind of a texture to them.
They do have a texture. They do have reflective foil. One of the big differences, we tuck the underbelly under the inside of the I-beam, under your cross members. But when this is done, it'll be one of the sexiest underbellies in the industry. If you ever look under a Brinkley, they're
the model, even
clean.
the Model I,
yeah,
was perfectly
dialed.
Clean. Yep,
yeah.
Yep. Man, I was telling him, he gets so excited over this still, and he's been in the industry forever, man. But he gets so excited over showing this stuff, and you know, part of that I think is just the fact that with this brand that you've built, that everyone in here has helped build, you're getting to do it the way that you've always wanted to do it, I think, totally. Right? Is that really what it comes from?
100%. Yeah. You know, I'm proud. I'm proud of our guys. You know, a lot of the stuff we do is not easy. It takes more time. You have to slow down to do it. Sometimes they wonder, why the heck is this important? But you know, for our customers, I think it is important. Yeah, and that's how I would want it personally.
Well, it's the end user, right? They're assembling a product that somebody might eventually live in. Yeah. And that's where it really matters what they do, because this is going to be, they're touching somebody's possibly forever home.
Yes,
which is important.
It's a big deal.
And that was a slick slide move he did. That was pretty awesome.
If you ever wondered how we get our cabinets looking so good, so we use these upcut saws with tiger stops. And then instead of a chop saw, they're real exact. We can load our cutlass in it. It'll actually feed the saw, but the cuts are perfect. Now, they're really expensive, but it's worth it, so.
Oh yeah, so I see it's actually feeding the measured size right there.
Yeah.
So he doesn't even have to, there's no tape measure needed. It's literally measuring it for him.
Yep, absolutely.
Oh man, I'd love to have this in my shop.
Yeah. About 40 grand, 45 grand.
Yeah, I'll never have this in my shop. That right there is precision. That is awesome.
So this is a high-end panel saw. So it's one of the ways that we get all our panel sizes exact. Another reason that we can run units with no trim. All of our cuts are precise. So you can see it's clamping it down, and it's going to cut it from the back. Show them how clean those cuts are.
Ooh, that is nice.
Yeah, look at the other side. Yeah. And notice we're not beating his body up, moving this. Look, one hand.
Oh, it uses air, or both ball bearings and air.
It's air and ball bearings, yeah.
That is very cool. When you talk about taking care of your employees, this is something I personally know and recognize because I'm a woodworking guy myself. The fact that you have saw-stop brands saws in here is absolutely incredible. And if you don't know what that is, for most people watching this, if that blade is running and an operator accidentally pushes a piece of lumber through and their skin touches that blade, it will physically destruct to stop the blade from hurting you. You might get a tiny little nick, but the blade will actually be ran into a piece of aluminum block, sucked underneath to prevent an employee from getting damaged or hurt.
Yep.
That is absolutely insane. This is technology that it hasn't been around for too long, maybe like 8 years maybe, right?
Yeah.
Has been around too long, but you do not see that in very many commercial shops. Most of the time it's like, just be really careful.
They're expensive.
Yes, these are very expensive.
Yeah.
And if you touch that blade when it's running, you've destroyed the blade and you have to replace that entire component.
Oh yeah.
But it saves fingers.
It saves fingers.
Yep, that is absolutely incredible. Very cool. And one of the reasons why that happens is kickback. If something feeds through and it kicks back, your hand sometimes gets pulled into the blade. And this thing literally sinks in and stops so quick that you might get a tiny little nick on your finger. That's how crazy it is. But I had to point that out. Now, you call this the hockey or the air hockey table, right?
Yeah. So the guys invented it, but when they turn it on, it elevates all the material. 2 reasons. one, it's really easy for them to move, so it doesn't beat their bodies up. Secondly, we get a lot less scratches and micro scratches.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That is very, very cool. And just the amount of plywood I'm seeing here, that's awesome, because you see so much press board in so many other factories.
Yeah.
But so much of what I'm seeing is actual plywood. And that's great.
It's actual plywood. The other thing we run, and I can show it to you, is a product called MDO, which is actually, it's an MDF outside and it's a plywood core, which gives us a lot better screw retention, and it's also about 40% lighter. Yeah, look at that. So plywood core, and then MDF on the outside for the finish.
Oh, that is really cool. You get a much smoother, more consistent finish as well. That's awesome.
Yep.
And it's not terribly heavy.
No. So this is where the magic happens. So for us, the caliber of cabinets that you have on an RV, it's a testament to the whole company.
Oh yeah.
So everything here is built from the 3D model, from the prints. So everything is exact every single time. But some of our most skilled workers are in the cabinet shop, and I'll show you a couple of reasons why. All right, we're walking up to a random cabinet, but notice all your offsets are tight. All your joints are tight. I'll take you upstairs and show you why, but it's just like a residential cabinet at home. Look at your drawer guides.
Oh yeah, your drawer
undermount.
guides. They're incredible.
These are 250 pounders.
And they're also undermount, like you said.
Yeah. Yep. So everything in the kitchen except the trash can are undermount.
It's interesting how you provide access points to things where a lot of other manufacturers literally cut a hole. You know, that is awesome to see some of the stuff you're doing.
So here's a little detail a lot of people notice. See how we wrap everything around?
Yep. Okay, so over here is where they're installing holding tanks, getting all of their ducting and everything in line. Right here is kind of the next evolution of that, where they're also getting everything positioned right. I love the slower pace that you see here as well. Right here is where they're putting the flooring in and the track system inside of the toy hauler garage area. You can see that they have the floor in place there. They're cutting it and getting all of that in place. But where the magic actually starts is right here, because this is where they start constructing upwards, getting all of your walls in place, and kind of building the interior of the RV out. So one thing that you were mentioning earlier was how they have everything kind of routed versus just like a big hole, right?
Yeah, so if you walk through, you'll notice anywhere we route a panel, it's very intentional. If it's round, it's round. If it's rectangular, it's clean. We pretend that the customers are gonna see the inside. So here's another example. Look at this interior wall. Do you see any knots? Do you see any nasty wood? Do you see any mold? So that's all premium lumber. A lot of it is Swedish spruce. And so we try to make it as presentable on the inside as it is on the outside.
Okay. Ooh, I like what I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
So you got the Multi Plus 2, you got your MPPT solar charge controller. I mean, you got a lot of stuff going on. Is this included in every Model G?
Everyone, yeah. Yep. So we actually partnered with Victron. We have a local company, Wellspring, that builds these boards for us. And then the guys take the fully ready board and then we install it right in this front area. But all of our solar controls now are completely Victron.
That's incredible. So how do you feel about this specific generator over, say, the Cummins Onan?
You know, we like it. They kind of beat Onan, frankly, to the punch on some things that we wish they would have done. But, you know, having an inverted generator that throttles up and down based on load, it's very quiet, it's very efficient. You know, full out, this thing uses like 0.7 gallons per hour under full load.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, you know, I've taken it and I've run days on just generator power. In fact, we were just in northern Michigan, and that's why I was running on liquid gen. I didn't even use half of a tank. And
wow.
so to have that ability, plus it's not loud, plus if you run out of gas, you can flip it to LP. If your batteries are completely dead, you can flip it to LB and pull start it. It's just, it's where the market needs to be. So
that's really good. And I see this one has the Gen Y executive hitch on the front of it.
Yeah.
How have you been feeling about this product?
Oh my gosh, we love Gen Y. They're one of our favorite suppliers, but their products perform too. They stand behind them. We have almost zero warranty issues. And if there is a problem, Gen Y handles it like that. I mean, literally Carl, the owner, will respond on Facebook, contact customers directly and fix issues.
Yeah,
It's
Carl's
incredible.
a great guy. He has a great team, and boy, they know how to innovate, don't they?
Yep. They're one of our most important partners.
Very cool. All right, so to keep this video series from having videos that are 20 to 30 minutes long, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this video. I think you got a good idea of what took place in the first video from a frame chassis perspective to a cabinetry perspective to a wiring harness, and even how they select their lumber and what goes into it, and the Victron equipment that goes in. Next video, we're going to continue down the line and see what else we can discover about Brinkley units. So far, it's hard to provide them any real feedback on things. I did tell them a few things about possibly prepping units so you can expand the battery systems more conveniently, but they're putting everything in a really good spot currently, and it's going to be interesting to see what they can do moving forward from this to be able to kind of prep things in a way that actually give you that expansion capability with minimal effort. That makes sense. Anyways, guys, we're going to wrap this video up. If you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up. We'll talk to you again very soon.